And now it's time for my last word on the virtues of humility and knowing when to mind one's own business, especially here in Israel, where so many, so often complain of being singled out unfairly for criticism and undue attention. I'm referring to an item earlier in our program about Israel's first-time participation in RIMPAC, a big biannual Pacific Rim drill that's taking place around the Hawaiian Islands and Southern California through August 2nd. 25 nations, dozens of surface ships, more than 200 aircraft, and some 25,000 personnel are honing maritime capabilities and cooperation in the Pacific theater. In addition to 5 major NATO partners, this year's drill includes forces from Northeast and Southeast Asia, the Indian subcontinent, Australia, New Zealand, Central and South America, and Israel. Why Israel? To borrow from Bill Clinton about why he got caught up with White House intern Monica Lewinsky, because I could. Yes, the Israeli Navy is at RIMPAC because it could. It wrangled an invite, so why not take the opportunity to fortify ties with Japan and Korea, Asian powers that share threats from ballistic missiles, or with Indonesia, Malaysia, and Brunei, Muslim countries of the South China Sea, or with emerging Latin American economies that Israel has targeted for arms sales. What's the downside, one might ask? Well, beyond the unseemliness of tiny little Israel presuming a presence on a global scale and the expense and potential risk of sending a portion of its already minuscule force to hang out for more than a month in waters half a world away, there's the small issue of China. China was disinvited from this year's drill due to its destabilizing activities in the South China Sea. So why on earth, at a time when Israel needs this key member of the UN Security Council to support, or at least not thwart, its agenda with respect to Iran, and Iran, why do anything to annoy or antagonize the Chinese Red Bear? Israel has enough security challenges right here in its own neighborhood. And as we've repeatedly reported on this program, it enjoys abundant opportunities for training, not only with a growing number of NATO nations, but with Sunni Arab states much closer to home. It must learn to be humble and to mind its own business and stop looking for potentially counterproductive adventure half a world away just because it could. And that's my last word.